Hello?
Where are we?
Hello, friends who are behind us mostly listening.
Who are you?
Who are you? This is our variety stream. Adventure Corp is going variety.
Whoa.
We've got art and we've got us bullshitting. We are, we're basically going for affiliate at the moment. So we need some stream hours, and as a group that streams once a week, that's not stream hours, we need stream days. So we've got to add some extra ones in. So that's what this is. So we're gonna stream.
See us Twitch. We're streaming.
Yeah. Get all the bots in the channel. Like, I know what you're up to. You're trying to cheese the system.
Yeah, like, do we need a certain amount of hours or just a certain amount of streams?
We need both, but we nailed the hours, no problem.
Okay, so we just need 4 streams per month. Okay.
We need 7.
Wow, we don't get 7.
No, that's why we're doing this.
Yeah, that's why we need to do extras.
This will help us get an extra one?
Yeah, we need 7. We need 7 days of streaming in the week, so we'll need one more.
In the month.
Yeah, thank you. In the month.
Yeah, how's our volume? By the way,
can somebody, Andrew, could you turn it up and see if our
how much is a day
I
of streaming?
literally have just decided to turn it down.
No, Megan.
I think it's
So Megan, we've got 2 mics set up, which we've never tried before.
You have streamed.
Are we echoing, or does this work?
So I think this counts. Like, we could stop streaming right now, and it would count as a day of streaming.
It's a week.
Perfect,
4
do it.
streams per month.
Yeah.
But how do we get 7?
So we stream on 3 other days of the month.
Oh, so we're gonna have to do that.
That's what we're doing right now.
We're gonna need 2 more
Yeah.
this month.
Yeah,
I
in
actually think
30
we're
days.
above it though.
We're gonna have to do this a few more
Did
times.
Megan reply? Because
Well,
I
it's
can
it's
switch
30
my volume
days,
things.
not 28.
I
don't know.
Pretty good volume.
This will be 5 hours.
No echo.
We need 2 more. This doesn't get us there.
Awesome.
Yeah, I know. Isaac has the actual numbers
She
for the
says
channel.
I echo?
One thing,
Oh,
we
no
only
echo.
do once per week.
I know.
Danny, it's not an exact. Like, I looked at it the other day and it had more than that.
Which is weird.
Well,
anyways, hi guys. Yeah, we're here. We're gonna talk about things like D&D and
boobs.
But without the head.
Channel and
without the head on top, it just looks like
you
a
end the stream,
dorky
or?
little guy.
No, I had the stream on my thing because I'm trying to look at our stats.
Okay. Yeah, see what it says. We can give the chat an update of where we're at.
Is it in Insights? Channel Analytics. So we're at 4 average viewers.
Okay.
29 chatters. I know all of the numbers for this is somewhere, and I can't remember where I found it.
You work at 7:30 tomorrow?
Stream summary.
Wake up at 5.
First.
Go to work at 7. Start at 7:30. End at 4.
That's viewers and
I used to work
whatnot.
like 6 till 2, and that was actually not bad.
Can't remember where they put this.
7:30 to 4.
Oh, wow.
Channel. No, that's just our socials and stuff. No.
Where do you get your analytics on Twitch?
No, I can find the analytics. It just doesn't have the stuff I need.
Where do you get your stats on Twitch?
Maybe go just to home.
It was in your email last time you checked.
No, that's like a stream by stream thing. Oh, here we go. Okay, move on to follow.
We have over 50 followers, which is
Yeah.
So
we met just about everything. I know there's literally a button that's like affiliate, and then it tells you what your stats are for affiliate.
Yeah.
But Twitch can be a little difficult to navigate.
it's a stats statistics tracker is what it told me on my phone.
Yeah, your lookup was not terrific.
Well, I didn't finish it.
You're gonna get to analytics, which is what I'm in, which doesn't have exactly what I need.
Okay. Was it in your email? Runa said it was an email.
No,
I
she
can
was
actually
incorrect. It
also-
gives you a stream by stream summary in your email.
Okay.
You can also look.
Well, either way, there might be a few more of these off the normal Wednesday streams because apparently we need 7. So
Yeah,
we're gonna have to do 3 of these.
Twitch is making us do it. That's okay. It'll be fun.
Maybe
We can talk about D&D. Dan had an idea.
Okay, go to
for-
achievements.
Achievements, really?
Yeah.
Almost there.
Settings.
Weird and glitching.
Close our stream.
Oh, that's aggressive.
Not great.
Channel and video.
It needs to fix itself.
I was
That's
in
cool.
Insights. Achievements.
Graphics
Path to affiliate.
Oh, here we are.
There we go. So we got 53 followers. We've got 12.73 hours of the 8 we need, and we have 3 of 7 days. So it went down. Last time I looked, we were at 5.
So we definitely need lots more.
So we'll have one more stream, and then we'll need to do 3 more of these.
We'll have to do like the next 2
No,
Sundays.
actually, it probably hasn't counted this one, so we'll need 2 more. Plus next
I can
Wednesday.
also like just do random gaming streams, right? Like
As long as you have 3 viewers, yeah.
yeah, or like I can even just turn on the stream and turn off the stream. Like I'm pretty sure it's lenient.
I don't know.
Either way, we can do the next 2
Well,
Sundays like
for
this.
example, I streamed a game Taruna for 0.1 hours, and it says I have 1 of 7 days streamed.
Okay. Yeah, so we literally just need to flash it. Well, we already set up for this, so we might as well talk about some D&D.
All right. Wow.
This is Yaisel, I can tell by the horns. Yeah.
I'm the artist. I get priority.
Something I was thinking, so like for anybody that hasn't been here before, so we have a campaign, start off with 2 characters called the Jacobsons brothers, and we're elves, and we moved into a city, and we kind of started off doing some roguey stuff, and it kind of developed from there. I'm kind of...
Posted in the chat, one shot!
I was kind of thinking, that is something that we could do. If like there's requests for one-shots and people have like some crazy fan ideas, throw them up there and we'll make like maybe make a one-shot and do
I
it
could
once in a
definitely
while.
run a fan-made one-shot.
That'd be cool.
That'd be neat.
So the other thing I was thinking is why don't we just go around and kind of do players and DMs and just get like your opinion on the campaign, like something you really like about it, something that you maybe would like to change about it, and something that you see for the future with it. Like could be stream, could be D&D, could be thoughts, feelings. What do you guys think?
I like that. Well, Dan, why don't you start?
Okay, so something I really like about it was how it feels very like the world feels lived in, and it feels like there's lots of stuff to do. I don't ever feel like I'm bored, or there's things like awkward times of like not feeling useful or not feeling engaged in the game, which is something I really enjoy. Something I would like to change.
17 magic items?
No, I think if I was to think of something I'd like to change,
I thought you were giving the cup butterfly wings.
It
would
is.
be
All of our cups have butterfly wing handles.
I thought it was going to be like flying.
maybe just
Maybe
just like working on my own like role play, and sometimes I get sucked into mechanics, so maybe just checking myself more to make sure that I'm not falling into that. And then something I see for the future is I'm just really excited for some like future campaigns and different ideas and stuff that we can kind of develop on the channel and explore some different areas of D&D and different thoughts. And
Yeah, I'm working specifically to not get excited for next campaign, because I will very quickly like want to finish this campaign, and it's like, hey, you guys go up 2 levels.
but even
Here's
just
Thessacar.
yeah. But even just like thoughts and feelings and like or different ideas or concepts in the game that we're currently in that I want to try and more like interactions between players and NPCs and the world and something I've been working with characters is like, what can I do for characters to make a lasting change that makes like the character's mark in the world or something like that. That's something that I'm interested in doing.
Yeah, that is actually hits on one of my favorite things about like having run D&D for years now, is I'm starting to more and more, like as I've had more and more high level campaigns finished, and I add more and more opportunities for players to like be important in organizations and like build their own trading companies, and so like I have more and more content that is like shaped by character. Like Camerdell is now one of my favorite cities in the game, because my Tuesday campaign, Camerdell got flooded because of a cataclysmic event that they caused, and they decided, no, we're not just going to build new Camerdell, we're going to build a wall with magic all the way around it from the bottom of the ocean where it now sits to the top, and pump the water out, and I now have like a water jug city. Like it's like a giant's cup, and you come and you dock on the edge of it, and then you walk all the way down into the city below, and the ships are docked at sea level up above you on the edges.
So it's like a full-on Louisiana, but like a New Orleans, but the full levee around the entire...
Fucking, yeah, and like 300 foot tall in spot. Like, it's crazy.
That's interesting. It reminds me, I have a friend in the real world, and she works up at a diamond mine in the Northwest Territories.
Yeah.
And it's in the middle of a lake. on like an island.
Yeah.
And the water was encroaching in, and they actually had to build a wall and pump out the water so that they could get into the mine.
Man, they will throw money at anything to get into those mines. It's crazy how much they spend.
So if you're in the chat, can you just let us know if our sound is good?
Yeah,
just give us a shout.
Megan
and let us
did.
know. Okay.
Megan did. She said we're good. So 2 mics. We could absolutely have a mic for everybody. And have it like pointed at people, and that would solve a lot of our Lorelei problems because I could turn your mic up.
Okay, when you say Lorelei problems, it feels like you're pointing at a specific person.
You're right, I should point.
An idea we could also do is like, what if we did the 2 tables along this side, have the cameras here, and like point to them, we could have a longer table.
We could, but we'd lose out like the light you have favors a table on either side of it.
Yeah, we have a really nice light right up here.
Yeah,
that is.
I can get more lighting.
Heck, if we're adding lighting, we can do whatever we want.
Yeah.
But for now, at least,
we can think about it.
On a side note, we're accepting donations on Patreon.
and soon we'll have Twitch subscriptions too.
I have some buddies who funded one of my mics. I had like $50, and the mics were $150, and they're like, "Yeah, we'll chip in for 50 each." I was like, "Fucking sweet."
We did not threaten to pull their toenails out.
No, they played D&D with me. I was like, "Yeah, your character survives. Good choice."
Alex, why don't you give us your something you like, something you would like to change, and something for the future.
Okay.
Could be with characters, D&D, whatever.
Something I really like about this campaign so far is that there's a lot of room, just to sort of be my characters, right? Just where I get time. And it's because we're like a smaller group, and things are happening over a longer period of time. Mm-hmm. We can kind of dive into just like character stuff that's going on, which is my favorite part of D&D.
That is one thing I noticed too. Is like having a smaller group is definitely better.
Shut up,
for
Megan.
this. I'm not saying like
Lorelei is pretty quiet.
We have another group that we play with on the weekend that is 7 people, so 6 in the DM. You can't do the same stuff that we do on Wednesdays. Mm-hmm. It makes it a lot more difficult.
Yeah, it just takes too much time. And also, like, I mean, so we started with the assumption that Dre and Barian had shared backstory.
Mm-hmm.
And it was going to be a 2-person campaign, which in the future, I don't know if I'd do a 2-person again.
But, just like having run campaigns for 6 people as usual, like I just have a lot of people who want to play D&D. So I always end up with 6-person campaigns, except stream, I'm very picky. And I'm capping it at 4 for sure. But to get backstory stuff in, like I usually end up doing campaigns where it's like some main story stuff and then somebody's backstory and some main story stuff and then somebody's backstory. It takes like 6 months to do one arc of everybody's backstory. Like, and this one, it's like it can happen during game between stuff that's happening in one session with just fewer people. And my favorite part is I can keep track of it all in my head.
And in a bigger group, sometimes
with 6 people, I've got 6 Word documents to keep track of.
Well, and in a bigger group, a lot of times we end up doing like downtime or backstory stuff like out of session individually with the DM. That's a great tactic, but it doesn't. It kind of removes the experience from the rest of the group too, right?
Yeah, and there's certain stuff that fits really well with, and then there's certain stuff that you do it because it's a big group. Even if it would be fun to play it with people.
Yeah. Sorry. So that was the thing you like. What are things you want to change? Things for the future.
What Isaac said about being able to keep track of it, I just I do not pity the DMs who have like a bunch of characters who all are really like invested in their backstory. They'll be like, I cast sending and I message Portia. Just gotta do this.
Fuck.
Crap.
Yeah.
You know, how powerful did I make them?
Fuck notes. He can remember it all.
You don't find them. What?
They must be on another plane. Doesn't it still have a 5% chance? Whoa, a 4? What are the chances?
Yeah.
Let's see, what were the other 2?
Something you'd want to change and something you are focused for the future, or something you're excited for the future.
Something I'd want to change.
Could be anything. Could be you, could be the game, could be rules.
A tip for people who play multiple characters in a campaign. Do not give them the same objective and make them spend a lot of time together. Because your options are either don't really do any roleplay between them and just sort of say they talk about stuff and have it in your head that they're on the same page about things and not on others, or you have to spend a lot of time talking to yourself.
Multiple personality disorder.
Yeah, like Yeah, if you have multiple characters in a campaign, focus them on other people's characters.
I don't
what
think
I
that's a
would
good
say.
idea. Shut up, Lorelai.
Yeah.
I think that gets into, like, me and Alex have had chats, and I play once a week, but I did the math, and I run D&D 6 times more than I play D&D, and it was worse before when I didn't play at all. But one of my growths as a player who used to kind of always try to, like, I always had something to do, and I had groups where I would just kind of soak up all the spotlight. I've tried to make my role play about other characters, where it's like, what can I do that draws their character into it, or gets them talking about themselves? Because everybody has this cool stuff they want to reveal about their character, and everybody's so interested in their own character, it's never interesting. And then when you have a character, like, a lot of times my role play will just be like, I walk up and ask them why they did what they did.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting you say that too, because something that I've been looking at when building my characters now is making stuff that happens there and having the little hooks. And if it never comes up and no one ever talks about it or anything, great. If they don't, but if they do, there's a whole book there that they're like, holy shit, there was time put into that, and it was there, but I didn't force it onto the table. Because I'm bad for that sometimes.
Yeah. I like, honestly, I would say make nosy characters.
Yeah.
Lorelai is so much fun.
Yes.
For like hello Darth Butcher. Lorelai is so much fun. And I hope fun for everyone, because she is so nosy and she gets right up in everyone's business, and they get to like
talk about their characters.
Yeah, they get to do stuff with their characters.
Yeah. You get so much more. Like, my favorite D&D and Critical Role is one I go to a lot. Is there's so much of them like going and checking in on each other, and that person gets to have their limelight because somebody else like drew them into it. Also, hello, Darth Butcher. We're doing a variety stream because we need a certain number of stream days to hit affiliate, and we only stream a certain number of days per week, so this is the only way it's happening. And we're currently talking about each of us what we like from the current campaign, something we change, and stuff for the future.
So what was your thing you'd change?
So stuff for the future of this campaign, or stuff for the futures in future campaigns?
Your change thing.
That was the multiple characters was his
okay.
change thing.
And then for whatever. This, multiple characters for the future, yourself, doesn't matter, just something.
Yeah, I think the thing I'm excited for is... Or at least, something I looking for in the future. Hello, Hive Tyrant. Thank you for the lurk.
Hola.
If you hear this, we're trying to decide if we know you or if Danny knows you. So text whoever you know from the stream if you know us personally, and if not, welcome.
Yeah.
Enjoy your D&D game.
We appreciate it regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah, both of our campaigns right now are like focused around a location. Is we have a settlement in our Saturday game, and we have like a Lochran in our Wednesday game, and it's made me like, I'm really eager to do like adventure-y D&D again, where you're just from town to town, from people to people.
That's interesting, because from a DM perspective, that's an intentional shift I've done of focusing stuff around an area, because I found I ran a whole campaign to level 20 that like they based themselves out of Camerdale, but they never really had a home base. Like they lived in a room above the bar the whole time, and eventually it turned into a demiplane that they kind of got to call their own. But there was this just like scattered feeling, and it never felt like they really like established anything that mattered. And I'm consciously avoiding that like globe-trotting feeling, except for like where it fits a particular arc or adventure. But I like the focus of like you come back to your place. So I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Well,
I do like, I like the home base feeling, but like
2015?
sneak preview characters that I am excited to play coming up really want like to explore the world and see things.
Right.
So they're gonna like be pushing to like pick like jobs and things that take them to new places, right? And that kind of style of D&D where you're on the road a lot more.
That'd be interesting.
There's something, because I've been thinking about the same thing. Something I think where it could be alleviated is I've thought about using something like Magnificent Mansion or Demiplane, but giving it like an item or like something where that, so the characters can move around and have a home base that they can access. Obviously making it so like maybe it takes an hour or two to summon the door to the thing or something like that, but making it so that you could bring stuff into it and have it like a base.
Yeah, well, but I think what's more important about the home base for me,
So,
like I said, like that group even had like their little demi-plane up there,
Yeah.
but what's important about it is the NPCs became way more important.
So this is the other one.
Oh yeah, Hive Tyrant says our party is currently getting our butt kicked by a group of tree ants. Tree ants can be nasty. They throw rocks.
And the other way I was thinking of it is giving them access to limited teleportation earlier. So they have a home base, they have a teleportation circle in their home base, and they can access the main points around the map. And then they can go to that place instead of having to have the 6 month of travel.
Yeah.
They can go there, they can explore the area. Maybe they find another location that they can teleport to, but it allows them to go, come back, and still enjoy their home base, but be able to go out and be more a part of the world.
Well,
And,
one thing too, like with the where my setting is, magically, there's not a lot of like public magic transportation, but that's something that I think I might start adding as like a new development that's coming into the world, because that also lets you have that like close contact with NPCs. But
airship you could also do with airships and just have like
yeah, I do have airships.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, giving a party an access to one.
Yeah.
And then you could do something cool, like the airship is also like another base that you could build up and add things to, but it gives them a thing where it's like, okay, you're flying here, you have a month of downtime, but it's, you know what I mean, and we're there and we move on, you know.
Yeah, it does things that make travel faster. But the other thing is like focusing a lot of the story, like we have with this campaign, around a Lochran.
Yeah.
You get to interact.
A mouse just bit the dust.
Well, what the heck? Death to the mouse.
Don't trust technology. It'll betray you.
But yeah, so just having the campaign focused around it, like just being around NPCs can be really lame until they become important. Like having them, like you guys being like, are our people safe? Like, are they taken care of? Like, is this invasion affecting them? And then when it is, like, what do we do about it?
Sorry guys, I have to take
Yeah, no, it's good.
Can't get
There's a little bit of sneaking involved for getting out of this.
Hey Barb. Hey.
Runa.
It's a very professional stream, as you can
Yeah,
see.
yeah.
And this game's really good for.
Ooh, Hyperion
Ooh.
says we're trying to resolve
Oh.
the problem without violence in order to enlist them as allies. We have an undead problem to solve here. I see. Maybe no fire then. Also, Megan said, Runa!
What?
Just Runa. And then gave you a tongue out face.
Okay.
So, Runa,
I told her
I don't
same
know.
questions to you. What are you enjoying so far about the campaign?
Yazel.
Oh.
What about her?
Yazel.
I don't think it was
know.
enough.
Great answer.
You guys got me at the wrong time. I don't know what to tell you.
Literally, like.
I like
Her mysteriousness.
that Yazel's...
How hard she is to
I
describe.
like that Yazel's not... Like, she's taken time away from the party.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
She's
she did take a big
she's
step back.
separating herself, so she's not fully dependent, which is a trauma thing, but,
Yeah.
you know, the party doesn't know that yet.
Yeah.
She's sad now, so I'm
Yeah.
excited to go into trauma with her.
Sad boy hours.
And you know how you're talking about how they want to make sure people are safe?
Yeah.
I mean, she made a real big fucking deal for it.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly. Like even that Tuesday group where they went back to that bar over and over again. The NPCs were like, you know, between adventures they'd come say hey to them, and like that was about as important as they got. And
now Yaizel's making deals with the enemy.
yeah, like and for NPC relationships, like
Yeah,
it's
she's like, oh, I want to be safe, and I want my relationship to work, so he has to be safe in turn.
I also think it's like it's way more how people work. Like we tend to get attached to an area and the people there. And like if you are on the road for a long period of time, like most people get really homesick after a while. So I can definitely see us doing some like arcs that are about that, like going out and exploring the world.
Offer them undead nutrients.
Offer them the undead as nutrients.
Or just offer them
or offer to moisture. That gives me some Doctor Who vibes. Moisturize me.
this fucking skin lady.
Yeah,
God, she was.
The last pure blood human.
She didn't even have blood.
Yeah, no, just the vein pattern across her. Water the tree. I can picture a town that like generations later goes out and waters specific trees, but has no idea why, because the tree ants haven't moved in like hundreds of years. But they made this deal, like we will and our descendants will water you. And then something attacks the forest, and the tree ants just start like smashing things. Like, oh shit, that's why we were watering them. Oh, I almost pissed on one
Yeah,
once.
some punk kid's like, hey, I don't want to follow the rules. I'm gonna chop him down.
Excellent. All right, what would you change about the campaign or your character or anything, if anything?
I would get rid of the city. In character, not out of turn.
Okay. If Yaisel could wave a wand and solve that problem, that's what she'd do.
She'd be like,
Bye-bye.
bye-bye, we don't want you here. I would change nothing, to be honest.
Wow.
All right, what are you excited for the future?
Yeah, I don't know, she's a lot of my answers. I don't know.
Well, okay.
I mean,
Anything
that's
in
the
particular
way
about
D&D
her?
tends to
Yeah,
work.
So what was
Ruth?
Ruth's thing she was excited about?
Yaisel taking some alone time from the party and dealing with some of the trauma there.
Oh, cool. And then your change thing?
Dealing with. No, this is a trauma response.
Oh,
I'm not
you're
dealing
not
with
dealing
shit.
Okay. And
Get
then
it
your
right.
change?
I wouldn't.
Nothing that you would like to see different, or...
No.
Okay, you don't have to say it if you don't want to, if you don't have anything.
Yeah, that's a fair answer.
And then...
Or sacrifice visitors to the tree ants
Well,
like
no,
supernatural.
one thing we could talk about is the 10th level spell.
No, we're not.
I
That's
don't think
really
she wants
funny.
to talk about that.
That's funny.
Tempting. It says tempting Atomic Blonde. The barbarian is being quite stubborn about his axes. Oh no. Oh no.
Something you're looking
Barbarian
forward to.
players.
I'm looking forward to more Yaisel character things that the party will discover, I guess.
Okay.
Ooh, secrets.
Because they don't really know her
Yeah.
either. Like,
How dare you?
none of my
assume.
characters are really known by anyone, and now they're finally getting a spotlight. They're like, oh yeah, she's like, you get to know me now?
Yeah. Yeah, we're getting to the point where things start to come out.
Yeah.
Isaac?
Oh. Okay. I'll save that for the future. I think what I've been, this kind of playing news, but I've been most excited to kind of watch my DMing shift, like discovering Adventure Conqueror King, and like how I could implement older school D&D tropes and themes and ideas into my campaigns has been really fun, and also has been like really messy. Like a lot of learning experience. There's a lot of stuff that like doesn't fit.
10,000, 28,000 gold.
There's also like a bunch of stuff that we stopped doing for a reason that I'm like learning the hard way. That nobody talks about, because like most of the people who played D&D back when we were learning these lessons don't play D&D anymore, or you know, they already know it so well that it's not something they talk about, and I feel like there's really something to be said for knowing why you do things and not just like some advice in a book that you do it one way, because there's a lot of stuff in the book that I'm like, oh, that is good advice, I just wouldn't do it like quite the way they said, and I had to go and like fuck up using rolled encounters to figure it out. Like, so I've been really excited. I've been trying to keep most of my learning around that to my other campaigns and just bring the good elements into this campaign. So I've had way more like gaffes or faux pas in my other campaigns. As for something I would change,
Thank you.
I think one of the big things I'm looking at changing is the way the system works right now is it kind of expected that you get to level 9 and then start building your thieves' hideout or your village or your army or whatever. And I think I'm going to make that more like level 7. And it's funny because that comes from Adventure Conqueror King that goes to level 14 instead of 20, but I'm finding like it just it's some of the more interesting parts of the game, and it waits till level 9 when like a lot of stuff is already really decided. So I'm interested in trying out doing that earlier.
It's interesting that you say that too, because level 7 is typically when you get your second subclass and stuff. If somebody wants to have like...
Yeah, exactly. If somebody multi-classes, like...
But yeah, like world stuff that comes down, it's like, okay, this happened. I was gonna go Warlock, but you know what? It's looking more like Ranger.
Yeah.
Like, I want the world to influence my decisions more, and I like
okay,
that.
I have Thoth asks, what did you think of each other's characters in session 1?
Oh, well, okay, so we didn't have Runa in session 1, so we'll have to, like, split that question, but that's a great question.
Okay.
You want to start?
Yeah, it's interesting. Me and Dan sort of built Barian and Dre, who are like twin elven brothers. We kind of built them together. So we sort of knew what we were in for. But I think early on, it's so long ago now.
I'm picturing you guys getting your purse stolen that had your letter from your mother. You're like,
Yeah.
that was where you guys started to mix as characters, I think.
I liked
Crisis.
it because it. Sorry, you continue.
No,
on the
joke.
show.
No, go for it.
I like it in two ways. So we had another campaign where we started at level 0, and I also like that thing. The thing I like about this one is we're brothers and we've known each other our entire lives, but we also had some backstory and things happened before we started playing this. So the thing about making characters together and starting is that you don't have anything that's hidden, you don't have anything that's unknown about. So there's nothing to reveal. There's nothing new or that can come out from the characters. So you have to really finesse it in a way to make it so that people are still interested in the character development, but also like be able to make that comradeship of like, wow, we're tight, we're brothers. It's us against the world. You know what I mean? Like it's choose you over death kind of thing. I feel like we nailed it a lot better in this one than we did in maybe some of my other attempts at doing that level 0 type.
Well, so here's the thing, because you build the character together, but you don't really know how they're going to play them until it starts happening.
Yeah.
Even you don't know how you're going to play it until it starts happening. So your first, I don't know, I think of that moment where you guys lost the letter, and it was like the brothers in their first crisis together. What was your thoughts about how Dan was playing Barian?
Actually, I have a different moment.
Oh, okay.
Which is when Barian chopped off that guy's head in our first fight when we were looking for the letter.
Oh, yeah!
Right? And then we got sent to jail. We had to do stuff.
You guys got community
And,
service.
yeah, like...
I forgot about that.
Yeah, in character, I was very much like, what the fuck? This is... Oh, jeez. This things are getting serious.
Yeah, I guess that's like a do I really know my brother moment. Hey?
Yeah.
But it was an interesting thing because we've had like our trials and turmoils, but then we got to a Lochran and it was just like people racist against, and Barian had just like had enough. He's like, fuck this. We got here, we had our thing, you took our thing, now you're trying to be all arrogant. Oh, fuck you. Dead.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious, Runa, if you want to talk, because you got introduced to a bunch of characters all at once a little while ago.
Yeah, much more established characters too.
Yeah, what were your thoughts when you met Barian and Dre?
Dre was very awkward. Very...
Yeah, she came in right with all the Wednesday nonsense, didn't she?
Yeah.
Dre was kind of... T.I.'s a little bitch. Like, to be honest, she did not like Dre. And then they started drinking together, and she's an alcoholic, so it worked out. Barian, he was very sweet, but
Go
very...
strapless.
Why strapless?
That looks good.
Fine. Barian was very sweet, but so distant. Like, she didn't feel like she could connect him. She still doesn't.
What was Barian going through when she first came in? That was, like, we had just introduced Bulwark.
Yeah, well, the whole thing with the wyvern poison and trying to make the drugs were happening.
Yes. Yeah, she came in right
and then,
around that whole blow up.
And she's a dragonborn, so hearing about dragon blood and drugs,
Yeah, and then Barian drugged Dre, which
was a big deal.
Yaisel didn't like, I think.
She hated it. She straight up was like, that's gross.
But it's interesting because so Barian isn't like an intellectual character. He sees things differently, and a lot of times the way that he logics things out, it is for the good of the thing, and people can't see where I'm the logic. Like he thinks that like they just don't understand why I'm doing this, and then I've justified my reasons based on logic instead of sometimes putting in like the emotional intelligence.
I like the Barian's not always like necessarily in touch with the human element of things.
But it's funny because it's also too is like he feels like he's like, you're dumb. This is clear.
Yeah.
Why would you make and then it's like you have to roll a charisma check and you're like, I'm like fuck because it's like he's like this does this. Do this because it makes sense. No, fuck you, I hate you.
Yeah. My first impression of Yaisel, because I knew Runa was new to D&D, and I remember being blown away by how much character was there. I was like, all right, here's like random monk. I'm just gonna try and like slowly introduce her into the roleplay element of things. You know, get a feel for where she's at, and then she just blows me out of the water with everything. I'm like, okay,
My favorite.
I have to catch up to you now.
My favorite moment with Yaisel and Barian, because Barian, I don't think we connected a lot until you got the Band of Intelligence.
Oh, she was
And then Barian like hugged you and you were crying because you basically gained sentience.
Yeah.
And I think that's when Barian and Yaisel started to be able to actually connect, because then you were talking to Dre and Lorelai about Sasha, and about and even to Lorelai about the just some of the stuff that had gone through with Lorelai and Barian not getting along.
Yep.
Because Lorelai and Barian have a hard time.
Oh, really?
Two extremely, like, Barian's like, why should I listen to you? Because your God said so. And then Lorelai's like, he's protecting his thoughts from me. That's against the rules. I should be able to rip his thoughts from his head. Like,
I love it. Okay, Megan said the interesting thing with warlocks is it can be any powerful entity. So say the cleric had a falling out with their god and decided to set more specific terms. If the god wants their continued support, they can make their own god their patron. I love that idea. And then
that's
Hive Tyrant
interesting.
says, as I understand it, the dark power with whom the player makes their pact don't have to be powerful. It's the bargain that grants character their power, not the dark power directly. I could be wrong, but that's how we're interpreting it. I personally think there's like a requisite amount of power for you, because like the idea is, like, if two characters come and talk to each other, you can't just make a deal with somebody and like suddenly gain power from it, in my mind at least. So I do believe there's like a requisite amount of power to grant somebody abilities. I think the really fun thing about that, though, is like if I take like Nuldir, one of the major gods of my system, he has hundreds of followers, he has hundreds of clerics, and he has a lot of power, like he has a lot to give out. But like Runa's character in our Tuesday game follows a genie who
Saturday,
yeah. This genie could maybe support like one or two warlocks. So I like the idea that you could have less powerful entities of at least a certain power, that they could have like two followers they give their all to, and then you have something like super powerful that's like, I can do the same thing they can do to like 600 people, but you can have those really like, it doesn't need to be an all-powerful being.
My favorite thing about it is that the genie just like cast.
So it's an interesting, so Warlock is probably the most free form of all the classes, because I think a thing that a lot of people get stuck in is that a Warlock has to be this, you've made a pact with something nefarious and it's trying to wreck you. That doesn't. I was listening to this other character who had a Warlock, and he had found a meteorite that was charged with radiation that gave him power.
Oh,
the only problem is the pact is he has to keep it within 10 feet of him or he loses the power.
Oh, okay.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
He's a warlock that has gotten power from the secret rock, and he has to try and keep it secret and not let people know that that's his power.
It makes
The
a
one
really
rock.
interesting weakness. Like you've got like a Superman kryptonite weakness there. That's cool.
And then it makes him choose different things, like some spells like wrist pocket and Lehman's chest become important because now you can hide things, or maybe you like. Some characters I was talking about,
like,
sew it into your
my rock
body.
stays here.
There were some people that are like, sew it into your body.
Ugh.
But that's the wild shit that comes up when you have these decisions.
Yeah.
So if you're making a warlock,
Diablo, put it in your forehead.
don't just go with the standard. Obviously, go with the tropes if you want, but think about what you want to do, and don't be stuck like I have to make a pact with Cthulhu or a devil or like a celestial angel. It could be whatever you want. It could be a ball of yarn that likes cats.
Okay. Yeah, so Hive Tyrant is saying that for them, it's like the Nine Hells has like a pool of power, and that the demons and devils in it just sort of lend out that power like a contractor.
Yeah, I got you. I got you.
The level of the devil, they each have a different size pool. Like something like, what's his name? He's the one that's actually in the ninth level. He's like the not Mephiston.
No.
Not Beelzebub.
I can't remember right now.
Dragon?
Anyways, he's like the Lord of Hell.
Yeah.
They just have different pool. Like one person can have a lot more people or put more power into something.
So my world works like substantially different from base D&D lore. And my hell, I have 7 levels of hell instead of 9. And some of the names of them do match D&D lore, but like I have a completely different system for it, and I have to plug in my laptop before it dies, so I will put a pin in that thought.
LOL.
Yeah, no, I like your take. What's his name? or their
Hive
name?
Tyrant.
Hive Tyrant. I like your take on it. It's interesting and nice to see some people when they look at D&D who get a little bit more into like the thoughts and actually like think more deeply about their characters and like what drives them and where it comes from, instead of just being like, my class says I get this at level 3. You know what I mean? Not saying that that's bad, but it's like I feel like you have more fun when you dive deeper.
I have
Of
thought.
Thoth. I take it that the patron is teaching their people how to tap into a common source. The price may be a soul, employment, or ambiguous, but the patron cannot reasonably take back the knowledge imparted to the warlock.
Ah, I see. Yeah, it depends how you want to play it. And it depends on your DM's world, right? Like, there are some things I say no to my players about that would be super cool, but just because I'm building a consistent world. Like, one of the things about my clerics is that my gods have tenets that their clerics are expected to follow. And so I've heard some really cool cleric builds that don't fit with the tenets of the gods, and I think that having gods that matter in my world is worth saying no to players for some of their ideas sometimes. And it makes some interesting character choices when I have somebody who doesn't have like a stellar idea what they want their cleric to be about, and I'm like, well, this is probably the god you're going to be following given the subclass you're taking, and here's their tenets, and they're like, ooh, that gives me some great ideas for my character.
I'm curious on your ideas about like smaller gods, right? Because you have like big gods with big tenets and big followings. I'm curious because there's like 10 gods
Somewhere around there, yeah.
Well, there's a lot more. The orc
right?
ones and Erd.
Is there like sort of
No, they're
a
all dead.
demigod thing you're thinking of that clerics could like find themselves in, like where they're closer to a less powerful god and have more of just like a one-to-one kind of relationship?
I'm not against it. It's not something I put a lot of thought into, because I am, one of the things I'm slowly putting work into is having my gods, and not just having it be like Nuldir, but it's like, here's Nuldir's generals, and here's those generals, like important, like right hand, left hand man. And as your, oh, he said camera's frozen. I will reset that.
What was the Eye of the Pilgrim? Or?
But as you get higher level, you start dealing with. There we
She's
go.
so pretty.
Camera's good to go.
Look at her.
What's his name?
You start dealing with more and more
The guy
important
who
people from the
hosts it.
Pantheon.
Look how
Oh my
pretty
god.
she
Eye of
turned
something.
out.
Yeah,
Eye
I
of
like it.
Noth.
Look at her.
Eye of Noth. Something I was
Or
also...
Eye of Thoth.
Oh, Eye of Thoth. I was going to comment as well. I like the thing that you're saying about warlocks, because this is something that... same thing with used to be with paladins.
Turned out so
If you
cute.
decide that you're done with warlock and you want to leave,
Never done this outfit before.
you still get to keep your warlock abilities that you've gained up into that point. So I like the thing is they can't take the power they've given you. It's yours now. And that's like part of their part of the pact is you followed up to there. If you guys leave, you get to keep your warlock levels and your pact and stuff and go on a different path.
Because you've already done for them what you agreed to.
Yeah, so like a good one is like Celestial Warlock that was with like a fallen angel and then decided, no, I don't like your nefarious stuff, I'm leaving, and then he goes and finds an actual angel or like finds a god and becomes a cleric. And now he's still, or even if you want to flavor it and still keep the Celestial Warlock thing, it's just now that your patron is a god instead of a fallen angel or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that.
It allows character development.
Yeah. It also, but like some of the interesting thing, at least from my perspective, about Warlock is how your pact plays into the campaign. Like with Lorelei losing the ability to cast that spell, like some of it can be really interesting to have this like meeting in the campaign of like the power you use and the source of it, and these like sometimes competing objectives. How do you rectify that? How do you make that, like, it can make a really interesting story.
Yeah.
Look at
I'm
you
not against
guys.
keeping the warlock power. I just think that I wouldn't make it a
Well, the example
rule.
is what I'm saying. Like, so it allows. So they moved away from the evil power, and then the other one they made a connection with them, and they said, you know what? And even if they lost the power from the evil one, the other one was like, nope, you'll be my champion, and they grant the power back to them.
Yeah, that could be
So
super
they've
interesting.
changed patrons.
Yeah.
Look at Yaisel right now.
Everybody look at Yaisel. I love her. I love the outfit.
Okay. It is
So good.
right here.
What's that?
He's pointing up at Yaisel,
Oh,
but because of where the cameras are. Okay, I want to respond to a few things.
okay.
Okay. Megan said, now I'm just imagining a bunch of demonic car salesmen living off commission. I've tried saying, well, fiends are a bit sketchy, aren't they? Yeah, so what I was trying to get to with that thought I pinned was my Lords of Hell are actually like in competition, and there's one major Lord of Hell, but they're all competing for each other. So there's not so much this like communal power they're handing out, as much as like
Asmodeus.
Yes, that's the one of that. So I have less of that, but that is a very interesting notion. And then I've thought that I'm playing a Dwarf Warlock whose patron is a living parasitic gauntlet from the plane of madness.
Oh, that's
His Warlock
cool.
spells and ability are the parasite lashing out at threats to its host. Oh, I love it.
That's super cool.
And then I've thought says I've flavored paladins going Oathbreaker as the character cursed by their oath-keeping deity or divine source. Example, fall into darkness. And clerics who turn away from the gods become priests, heretics who siphon power from deities they have no faith in, considered very blasphemous. Oh, that's very cool.
What was that? We had that one cleric a cleric of duplicity or something.
Yeah.
Where, they pretend
Yes.
to be. It was an idea we had, but where they pretend
That's the
to
thing
be
in
a
my world.
follower of a
Yeah,
god,
they exist.
and
Yeah,
and then so basically like, praise be to Raylan, and really they're like lying in their head, and they're like, I actually, and so they take power from a god that they're not really like
Yeah.
part of.
So
Yeah.
I have a god of falsehood, like a god of lies in my world, and his followers are very underground, and his best followers actually pretend to be clerics of other religions, and his power allows them to trick the god into thinking that they worship that god. So they'll have someone like Nuldir or Tulnir giving them power with no idea that they're like a double agent for this other god. And if you guys want an interesting anecdote, it actually came up in my world, never in game, but I know this is an event that happened between Tulnir and that god. When Tulnir first came to godhood, he had quite a following and tried to challenge this god, the god of falsehood, and the god of falsehood just smirked at him, gave a command to his people, and he lost a quarter of his following overnight as they just asserted their true following.
Yeah, that's interesting.
God.
Do we have some other comments?
Nope. The last one was I've thought with Paladin.
Something I find interesting about like the demonic like car salesman idea
Yeah.
is that their goal is to get the most out of you for giving up the least amount of power.
Yeah.
So I think it might, like, or at least for my idea, it would be less that they have like a certain amount of power they're allowed to give. It's just that they get rewarded the most for getting the most stuff out of people for the least power.
For sure.
So they have access to all of it.
Yeah.
They're just if they're the one demon who gives some idiot like 9 levels of spells for like yeah, could you give me like a brisket? I just really have a hankering.
want a brisket.
And he just like gets absolutely like ripped apart by all of his peers.
Yeah.
See, this is
You never want to be that
I
devil.
could imagine a god or a devil who's just like there to mess with people. Like some of you, I was talking about this the other day. The Super Saiyan named Brawly.
Yeah.
I'm like the powerful devil who picks one guy,
Yeah.
and Brawly is my guy, and he's just I just take an idiot and just make him a god, just all the power.
It's like the in Megamind, right? The random dude
Yeah,
who
yeah.
Megamind chooses to become his nemesis.
Okay, you guys want to know a really interesting campaign arc that I had an idea for? I won't use it now for Wednesday because I'm spoiling it. But so the idea is there's a devil, and he gets a cult following, and he grants them power. And the deal is, I will give you this power until you die, at which point your soul will belong to me. And then he goes spreading the word that there's this cult of people he's given power to convince adventurers to go kill them so he can collect their souls. He funds adventurers to go wipe out a cult so he can collect their souls early. To give the least amount of power for the least amount of time.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So the adventurers are getting hired by some affluent merchant who's like, this cult has been getting in the way of my things, and they're getting more violent, go wipe them out. And then, meanwhile, it's just the demon rubbing his hands like, great deal.
You know what? That's an interesting concept. Maybe not for a one shot, but like maybe like a 5 or a 6 or maybe 5 to 10.
I don't know that it works well enough on its
No,
own.
I'm spinning off here a little
Okay,
bit. So
yeah.
what I'm saying is like a 5 to 10 campaign,
Okay.
where you have a group of people who are like, they've done something bad. They're criminals. Maybe they're a cult. Maybe they're something that's nefarious, and it's a survival campaign. And it's like, you guys are level 5 or level 10, and you know you're being hunted. You just finished a heist. You have a certain amount of items, or you've just done something bad. And basically, the world is out to get you. Hide. Try to find a way, if you can live, or if you can find a way to change your soul, or like become. Basically, you're trying to get unhunted and not die.
Yeah.
And then spells like magic jar and disguise and all these things come into clone.
That would be
Like, it would be
be
fun.
an interesting short campaign to have
Like,
like
yeah.
what you do as wanted criminals.
5 or 10 sessions.
Yeah.
And it's like, they know your face. They have a piece, they have a tooth. They took a tooth while you're in prison, they can find you.
Yeah.
And he's like, shit. So he goes and he's like, I usually spend about a month and a half in each city.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this much, no matter how good I hide, they always find me.
Yeah. All right. Megan said sell the jankiest ritual tome, and then she was talking about the guy. So he's a scam overlord. Watch out for scam cults. And then I've thought that I envision clerics as full-time employees of a god, while a celestial warlock are contractors employed for specific jobs for short-term periods.
Yeah, that's
by
cool.
extension, that means divine sorcerers are hired by nepotism.
Does that mean that like celestial warlocks could go from like god to god, being like for hire, anyone need anything done?
You know what? That's an interesting thing where you have a celestial warlock who's like, I'm aligned with this, and it's just like different gods might contact him and be like, I need this done, and then like the warlock could like feel it and be like, it's true, and it follows, and then they go. And, like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It could be interesting, like
I
a
like it.
multi-god patron.
Well, yeah, I've actually never thought of like, so I usually think of my campaigns on the material plane because we haven't taken one into Beyond Level 20 where I force you off the material plane and into the astral or wherever you might decide to make your home. But I can absolutely imagine there being mercenaries who get hired out to gods on the astral plane.
Chadwick, the divine sorcerer.
Who said
Maybe.
that?
Divine sorcerer named Chadwick.
I have a divine sorcerer named or divine warlock, celestial warlock named Bradley Chadler.
And his brother's Chet Rat and Brad.
He's a unicorn knight.
Oh,
God.
no.
Who's like, his patron is like a unicorn if they exist in your world.
They do,
or wherever. And he's just, like pastel colors, very gallant, just
I love it.
so over the top.
A celestial
shut the
warlock of
window?
a whole pantheon called to do covert work. The angels don't want their wings dirty. I love it.
Okay, Isaac, can you shut the
I
window?
am going
Okay,
to shut
thank
the
you.
window.
Yeah, there's so many interesting things. Something I maybe wanted to do if you guys are down. We can sit here and go through a ton. I was thinking of doing rollies, and we see just.
We're actually we're 2 minutes off from our stream, so
Oh, we can go for longer.
we could do another one. But I would rather not go forever today. We do need to do 2 more of these, and I think it's a great idea. But maybe we save it for the next one when we have more time.
Mm-hmm. I'd
Sure.
be down for that.
Well, if you guys like this kind of thing,
I always leave them wanting more.
I'm always
Yeah,
interesting to talk about things. We were thinking of maybe doing like a crazy janky character build, or like something I want to do is like as a group we build a villain.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that could be fun.
By the way, if you guys didn't know, we stream D&D every Wednesday, 6 to 10 p.m. Mountain Time.
That's
Mountain
what the
Standard.
stream is normally about.
In case you are just here, listening to us talk, and are like, "Huh, that's neat."
Yeah.
I guess they play D&D or
I
something.
watched this once.
Yeah.
No, this isn't what we're about all the time. Although if people are interested in it, I could see us doing this more often.
Yeah, I would love like a once per month sort of
Yeah.
powwow.
Hive Tyrant said, my particular fiend, the succubus, and I share an enjoyment of the Keto Ninetails, so we have common ground. I love it. Okay, so we are at our hour-long stream, and we're going to do 2 more of these, and didn't expect to have watchers outside of the people we recruited, so thanks for showing up, thanks for hanging out. I have thought, I don't know if you followed us, but I really enjoy your comments, so please follow us. I'd love to see you on Wednesdays. We play 6 to 9 p.m. Mountain Standard, 6 to 10 p.m. Mountain Standard Time every Wednesday.
The engagement is so fun because, obviously we can sit here and banter all day, but when we have somebody that puts in thought-provoking stuff like
So
that,
much better.
We talk
Yeah.
to each other about the same inane shit about D&D so often.
So often. But thanks for joining us,
Okay,
folks.
Yaisel.
Yes.
Get her.
That's your final.
Let's hold up. I'm gonna just
Make
full
it
screen
big.
Yaisel, and we'll end on that. This is the progress. So this got done entirely within this stream.
And
So,
yeah, a follow is
great
always
job, Ruda.
appreciated. We're always looking for more. We're getting close to affiliate for those tools, and
Yeah.
good
She
to
looks
have
so
everybody.
good. I love it. Is that a earring there on the right? That little upside down cross thing?
Yeah.
I like it.
And this is my
because she
dice
betrayed
tower.
her family.
Hello, gate.
What?
Oh, they can't see anything now. It's full screen drawing. All right, folks. That's us signing off.
Bye.
See you later.
You can't
Why
see
are
us,
we
but we're
waving?
waving.
Bye. Yeah, I am waving.